It was an intriguing game, to say the least. We saw a pickoff, something that's going to be a little bit rarer these days. Nate Reed with a great move to first base. We saw some quirky errors. We saw two strike bunts. We saw a home run by Casey Hobson. We saw some strange defense at times. Some maybe less than advisable decisions made both defensively and offensively on the bases. Inside, 2-2. The count to Flores. Albaladejo coming in at 1-6. His only win June 28th against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. He lost to High Point in his last start. 6'5" right-hander, native of Puerto Rico. He's lived in Florida for quite some time. And he has been a big star in the Atlantic League the last 3 years. Low to Flores and ball three.
Well, you know, I think back to last season, and what I like about him is that he's a pitcher. And people say, well, of course he's a pitcher. Well, no, he's not somebody that's going to overpower you, but he knows how to work the strike zone. He's got great control of his pitches, and a guy that is a perfect stopper when you need a win.
Fouled straight down, 3 balls, 2 strikes. He was 9-7 as a Barnstormer last year and had a very respectable ERA if you take out 2 starts over at York. He did not pitch well at Peoples Bank Park last year, pitched very well everywhere else. Overall 9-7. His ERA was 4.41. Here is the 3-2 pitch. Bouncer to the shortstop. Albaladejo wisely letting it go through to Martinez. And there's 1 out. Flores retired 6-3. Bringing on shortstop Alfredo Rodriguez.
So obviously the locker room a little upbeat. People had fun last night after that victory.
The one thing that has been tremendous about this ball club, and obviously any team is going to hate to lose, but they haven't gotten at each other's throats. They have stayed together as a group, and if anything brings this team back, the cohesiveness that still exists downstairs may very well be the factor.
Yeah. Well, it was about time that they won a game like that. So many times we've seen it go against them this season.
Somerset still trying to find its way into the postseason, and they've got problems in terms of pitching. Smashed to third, gloved by Terdoslavich, and the throw across retires Rodriguez. 2 outs, and Will Kendra, the third baseman, will come to the plate. And it's not in terms of the quality of the guys they have, it's in terms of the quantity of guys they have. They're down to 10. David Kubiak is gone, from what I understand. He was placed on the inactive list yesterday. They've lost Mike Antonini, they've lost Mike Broadway, and my understanding is that Brett Oberholzer, who is scheduled to start tomorrow night, may not be now. Jeez. And that's going to decrease the numbers by 1 more. They've already been to 1 extra inning game this series. They had to use 4 guys out of the bullpen last night. Albaladejo comes back to Kenger. That's fouled off, and Albie's ahead 0-2.
So needless to say, Brett Jody has had to do quite the juggling act with his pitching staff.
And it's only been within the last week or 2. Now, I'm sure John Hutton, who is in charge of procuring players, their pitching coach, is banging the phones trying to come up with a guy or 2 to fill in the gaps. But as far as this series is concerned, Somerset's numbers are diminished on the roster. A couple other pitchers on the injured list. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kenger with a ground ball right side takes a wicked hop on Hobson. He stays with it, feeds Albie. 3 ground outs to open the ball game. It doesn't get much better than that. Nothing across for the Somerset Patriots. End of a half inning. Somerset nothing. The Barnstormers are coming up. Barnstormers are facing a left-hander tonight in Thomas Dormany. So you've got Golson in the lineup. You've got De La Rosa in the lineup. Destin Hood up to the cleanup spot against the lefties. So Ross Peebles can break up the left-handed batters a little. Defense for the Somerset Patriots. Michael Ullman makes the start behind the plate tonight. You'll see Jovan Gonzalez a little bit more often behind the plate than you will Ullman, but Ullman is a catcher by trade and handles the chores well also.
Yeah, Lancaster has fared much better against left-handers than against right-handers. Of course, haven't faced as many left-handers, but 9 and 15 when facing a lefty. But they're going against a guy that's pretty hot right now in Dormany. He's pitched really well for the Patriots.
Thomas Dormany faced the Barnstormers about a month ago and shut the ball club down for 6 innings. He gave up 5 hits, walked 2, struck out 6. Eventually, the Patriots winning that ball game 2-1. He had the extra advantage that night of facing Buddy Bauman because the Barnstormers don't seem to support Bauman no matter who they're facing. But Dormany has been tremendous as of late. He's only given up 6 earned runs in 44 1/3 innings over his last 7 starts. He's 5-0 during that stretch with a 1.22 earned run average, and in those 44 1/3 innings, he has struck out 50. He has given them a very, very nice performance 7 times in a row. Lancaster looking to break the streak tonight. Michael Martinez leading off and batting right-handed.
Yeah, a better than 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and he's done a great job of keeping balls in the ballpark. He's given up just 4 home runs over 74 2/3 innings, so it's not often that he'll give up a long ball.
1 strike to Martinez. Michael makes contact and fouls it off. 0-2. Martinez with a pair of hits last night, and in fact, he almost on his own tied the game in the 9th inning. He had a rocket, and he just didn't get underneath it enough. It hit about a foot from the top of the wall and just went down as a long single.
So for now, I guess Lancaster now has played 6 extra inning games. They're 3-3. So I guess they were the benefactor of the ruling now with the starting the extra innings with the runner at second base. Because early on, didn't they lose back-to-back games?
They
or
lost
something?
the first 2.
Yeah.
Against Long Island very early in the year. To Martinez, 0-2. Fouls another one off. They've won 3 of their last 4 extra inning contests. It's a rule you get used to, and after a while it just becomes part of the atmosphere of the game, having that runner at second base. I just have not settled on a term how to refer to that runner. I defer to all my colleagues in the sport. What do you call that runner?
And lots of words like you?
Ghost runner, phantom runner. That doesn't really apply. That's line to center field. Backtracking Pacioli. It's a fairly easy play. Martinez hit the ball well. 1 out. Caleb Gindel comes to the plate.
Yeah, but growing up, the ghost runner was the guy that was behind the lead runner if you didn't have enough people.
If you didn't have enough people,
right.
The idea of ghost, phantom runner doesn't quite do it for me. Gift runner, automatic runner. Caleb Gindel with a swing and a miss.
Extra inning leadoff base runner.
That's too long.
Well, then abbreviated.
I'm looking for one word. Extra inning leadoff. The ILB? No. I'll pass on that one, my friend.
All right, let's.
0-2.
Give me time to see if I can get creative here. Get comfortable, 'cause it'll take a while. Let's see.
Gindel walked 3 times last night. Fight. It's still 0-2.
He just has a great eye at the plate. And this is a guy that will get on any way he can, and heck, take the free pass.
that one go. It's ball 1, 2 strikes. Terdoslavich, the switch-hitting third baseman, waits on deck.
In fact, he's second in the league in base on balls with 46 behind Trayvon Nash with 58.
Thomas Dorminey, a few years in the Padres organization. Foul ball back. Gindel continues to battle. He's from Wildwood, Florida, is Dorminey. 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, and 27 years of age. He was a Washington Wild thing last year.
Yeah, but if you're a pitcher, the last team you want to play for is a team called the Wild Things, because
they're all Rick Vaughn. 1-2 pitch. Oh, that fooled Gindel. Great pitch by Dorminey. 2 outs. Joe Terdoslavich will step in.
Isn't it funny how you hear Wild Thing and you think, oh my gosh, the guy's all over the place, but then that movie comes out and Wild Thing takes a whole new meaning to it. Still one of my favorites.
Major League and Major League 2. Major League 2, so many of my co-workers from the 93 Bay Sox season had bit roles in that movie. But every time they called me to come in and shoot a scene in that movie, I had my son, who was a year and a half old or so at the time, and I had him by myself. My wife was working. I didn't get a chance to be in a movie.
Oh. Could have made the big screen.
A lot of people here in Lancaster remember Keith Lupton, who was the vice president of the baseball operations for the Barnstormers our first 6 seasons.
Yep.
He was one of the White Sox base coaches in that movie. He was our general manager with the Bay Sox that first year. The Bat Boy was our ticket manager.
Now I'll have to pay extra close attention now when I see that movie again.
It's just a brief shot of Keith in the coach's box. And I can't remember whether it was first or third. But if you watch the movie closely enough, you'll see him. Fouled at the plate. And that was the second time that Keith was in a movie, by the way. He was also in Coal Miner's Daughter.
Wow. Does he have an agent?
I think he probably, knowing Keith, he probably served as his own.
Do extras get royalties then for any of those?
I don't believe so, but you get like $500 a day. Fouled still. Terdoslavich following suit on Gindel and Martinez, doing enough to stay alive and running up the Dorminey pitch count. As you see Brett Jody, the manager in his 7th season at the helm of the Somerset Patriots, but he's been a Patriot for a long time, since before the Barnstormers existed. 1-2. Terdoslavich goes after an off-speed pitch. Dorminey continues his control and his mastery of the Atlantic League. Nothing across in the bottom of the first inning. End of 1, there is no score. Two sides retired in order in the first inning in starkly different manners. Two strikeouts for Thomas Dormany. Jonathan Albaladejo got everybody on a ground out in that first inning as the crowd is settled in and the game begins to settle in. And here's our man Melvin Mercedes, native of the Bronx, and somebody who, well, you want to talk about somebody who loves this game. There's a fairly famous baseball facility in his hometown, wouldn't you say?
Oh, Citi Field. Sorry.
You might as well say Fenway Park for that matter. And really ratchet up the offense.
Yeah.
Here's Mike Ullman leading off the second. Catcher tonight for Brett Jody's club. Takes a strike from Albie.
Yeah, and one thing, I never got to Old Yankee Stadium. Never made it there.
I've been by Yankee Stadium on the subway, but I've never been above ground. I had to cover a football game at Fordham, which is in the North Bronx. And I flew into LaGuardia and found my way through New York City on the subway system. And a couple of buses, too. Ball 1 and 2 strikes. That was an interesting adventure to get from LaGuardia, which is in Queens, under Manhattan, and then up to the Bronx. And yes, this was in 1979, plenty of graffiti to go around. Ullman with a ball belted out the left field. Golson retreating, he's there. 1 out.
Sounded good off the bat, but just a little bit under it for Ullman in a pretty routine fly ball, and with no wind to speak of right now. And tell you what, for what we endured last week, these next couple of nights should be just absolutely beautiful.
Here's Jimmy Paredes, the designated hitter, a barnstormer for a while last year. Let's get a look at Golson, and he's wearing number 21 now. I can't keep up. Ball is outside, 1-0. Jared Lakin has had 4 different jersey numbers at times this year.
Would you just keep them on a rack and spins them around?
Makes my head spin. They're trading dry cleaning tickets or something. I don't know. 1-1. The count on Paredes.
Yeah, he had a pretty nice debut against Lancaster back on June 25th. 3 for 5 with including a home run. Yeah, we had that game.
Last night, Zach Shank looked like got the very tip of his glove on the ball. It would have been a double play had he caught it, because Alfredo Rodriguez didn't think he had a chance to.
See, that's what I'm saying about Albaladejo, is that he will hit all corners of the strike zone and just keep the batters guessing as to where the pitch is going to go.
Out to left field again. Golson frozen for a second, read the slice and got there.
Tell you what, that thing was really starting to dive pretty quickly, and Golson had to make a late adjustment. But he's got the speed to make up the ground.
2 outs. Edwin Espinal, the first baseman, to the plate. Espinal had the indignity last night of being the first guy thrown out at first base by a right fielder. Caleb Gindel got him, and he's still happy. I don't think Edwin's ever had a bad day. He's become a Blue Ridge 11 legend. We've had a lot of Somerset Patriots games this year, and Edwin Espinal has entertained us greatly.
So after he was thrown out at first, did he look to Gindel, make any kind of?
We didn't detect it.
No.
0-2.
Well, he fooled him there. Plus, he jammed him too.
Well, he doesn't want to hit anything to right field anymore. He's afraid of what might happen.
He just seems like the kind of guy, after a play like that, he'd look to Gindel and go, "What? Really? Come on."
0-2, lined right at the first baseman Hobson. Well, he tried to go there, and it didn't work. 6 in a row set down by Almoladeo. Bottom of the second coming up, we're scoreless. Thomas Dorminey struck out a pair back in the first inning. He'll face Hood, Hobson, and Golson as we go into the second. When you talk to Ross Peoples, he will say that he needs somebody else besides Terdoslavich and Gindel to pick up part of the offense in the second half, and probably two. Out of, especially he named Hood, Hobson, and Applin. He says we need two of those three to really get going. Casey's had some huge hits and he's driven a lot of runs lately. Destin Hood looking much better at the plate. He gets tied up here by Dorminey. A swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Destin hit the ball fairly well every time up last night. He was 1 for 5 to show for it. He had a 3-hit game Sunday at Long Island, including his second home run. Dorminey back with the 0-1, and that's foul. The Barnstormers, with the exception of the line out the center by Martinez, have just touched so many Dorminey pitches. They foul them off, foul them off, foul them off, which indicates that there is fairly good late movement.
Yep, I was thinking the exact same thing. I think that might have got a piece of Buzz Albert.
You gotta be tough to be an umpire. It looked like it just got almost straight through Ullman.
Yeah, and right away, what did you see? You saw Ullman turn around and check on Buzz.
Fastball is high, 1-2.
Of course, he did what the umpire would do. He then started to walk out to the mound to give Buzz a chance to kind of walk it off.
To be an umpire, you have to be both thick-skinned and able to take physical bruises as well. Off-speed got him. Ooh, nasty. Third strikeout by Dorminey.
Yeah, that pitch is really working for him tonight.
And now you understand the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Dorminey is pitching to some degree a lot like we saw Bennett Perry do for the Long Island Ducks part of last year, part of this season, and Nate Reed last year. That left-handed changeup can be a great weapon here in the Atlantic League. Here's Casey Hobson batting left on left.
And when you're in a pitcher and you're in a groove like that, boy, you just feel that you are unhittable and you can throw anything and everything and it will work for you.
Hobson in what has been a rare, enviable position tonight, and that's ahead in the count. And he is even more so at 2-0. KC with what we could call the game-winning single last night. He was not awarded an RBI. It was actually a throwing error that allowed the run to score. He's now at 3-0. But he had a 2-run home run his first time up last night. Guy who has not had 3 hits in a game at any point this year. He's had 19 2-hit games and never 3. He has the green light. 3-0 chopper to the middle of the diamond, and he'll be thrown out by Alfredo Rodriguez. 2 outs. Greg Golson steps in.
Well, I thought there was going to be a miscommunication there between Rodriguez and Massey, and Rodriguez cut him off.
Massey got out of there very nimbly.
Yeah.
Craig Massey might have been a champion dodgeball player in his school days. Watching that move, a strike taken by Greg Golson.
Well, probably the right call, too, by Rodriguez. He had his momentum going that way.
Ooh, check swing. He did not go, says Bill Worthington on the appeal. It's a ball and a strike. And watching Craig Massey on that, he's the first-round draft choice for Average Joe's Gym. He'll be on the Ocho.
Boy, by the sound that Golson made it, I thought maybe it might have hit him.
Greg batting 1 and 2. Dorminey has been murdered so far. There's always that second time through the order.
Got to watch that off-speed pitch. Yeah.
Swung on and missed. That's 4 for Thomas Dorminey. Nothing has happened in the bottom of the second. Nothing has happened in the first 2 innings. We're still 0-0. Jonathan Albaladejo working here with Parker Morin as Anderson De La Rosa was on deck. As we close out the bottom of the second inning, we get a look into the dugout of the Somerset Patriots. There's Craig Massey leading off, defending batting champion in the Atlantic League. This year's not been as easy for him. He's hitting just .240.
Yeah, that was quite the race last year with the batting title.
But Massey is Brett Jody's type of player. He'll get the ball in play, he'll spray it around. Brett loves guys who hit to the opposite field. He doesn't care so much about the long ball. He has guys who can hit them. But last year, just starting off the second half, he had a team that hit about 6 home runs on the year. They had no power at all, but they were still winning games. To show that it can be done.
Yeah. Yeah. The end result, is it a W? Whether you hit no home runs or 5 home runs.
Whether it's 8-7 or 2-1.
Yeah.
Fouled off, a second strike, 0-2. Major League Baseball insists that it does not have livelier baseballs than normal, but I think the data from AAA might indicate otherwise. They put it into AAA, home runs jumped. There are some wild scores in AAA this year. 0-2. That just missed. Ball 1, 2 strikes. Albaladejo's retired 6 in a row. Dormany has retired 6 in a row. But I don't know. We don't use those in the Atlantic League. I haven't had a chance to really watch it firsthand, up close and personal. 2-2. But a lot of the impetus right now in baseball is to bring more and varied offense into the game. 3-2.
Well, the best thing to do would be to ask some of the players. If they feel that there's a difference in the ball.
Well, Justin Verlander certainly said that there was, and they demonstrated to him, because he's having a great year, but he's given up a lot of home runs.
Right.
They demonstrated to him that it's not true, that it's just in his imagination. Massey cracks a foul off to the left.
Well,
but it's been a subject of debate.
Well, and we've seen through the years, it seems as though the strike zone is getting reduced. We talked about this before. I remember it was letters to the knees.
But they're trying to get that back, which is why we're having the automated balls and strikes come in. Underhanded toss from Albaladejo as the big right-hander handled that one quite adeptly.
Nice glove work.
1 out. Massey retired. Ball had some steam on it.
It sure did. But the reason both of these guys are effective tonight is they're both getting ahead in the count. Now, Albaladejo did go to a full count on that at bat to Massey, but you know what? If you keep pounding the strike zone, good things are going to happen.
Here's Pacioli hitting .278. He's not done well against the Barnstormers, though. He is 4 for 29 in the season series. Guy who played 1/2 season of affiliated ball out in the Northwest League. But he's from up around Easton, I guess, so it's actually a quicker trip for him to go to Somerset than it would have been to come down here. And again, he's a Brett Jody type of player. He steals bases well. He's a good fundamental hitter. Albie clips the outer part of the plate, 2-1.
Well, and I saw in the notes that last year he turned down an offer to go to the Red Sox in spring training to stay with Somerset. And I kind of wonder, all right, ooh, good pitch.
I guess to be in your home, 3-1.
Okay.
Somebody asked me that question yesterday of the Barnstormers. Has anybody turned down an offer to go back to a major league organization? And the answer to that is yes. I couldn't remember the particulars, but I know that it has happened because the offer just hasn't been the right offer at the right time.
Okay.
And the players thought they could do better and get a AAA offer instead of a AA offer, whatever. Pacioli bats it full. Albie brings it home, and this is popped up. Hobson floating into foul ground, makes the catch. 2 outs. Mike Francoso will be the batter. This game is beginning to remind me of a game that we had at High Point back on July 3rd. It was Jonathan Albaladejo against Rockers right-hander Dominic DeMasi. And Albie had a no-hitter in that game for 5 innings. DeMasi had one for 4. Caleb Gindel singled into right, leading off the first, and the fifth, rather. And that was the only base hit we saw through the first 5 innings. Francoso looks at a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Albaladejo is showing how to pitch. He's giving a clinic. His arm just does not have the power that it once did. But even Roger Clemens lost velocity as he got older. I don't know that it happened to Nolan Ryan, but that guy was a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Roger Clemens lost velocity, became more adept at off-speed stuff, and was still incredible. Second strike on a breaking ball at the knees, 1-2.
And we saw a pitching matchup earlier in the season, Davies and Thompson, and we're both in agreement that sometimes, obviously, people love to see offense, but when you see 2 pitchers that are on their game, that is fun to watch.
It's stylish. Ground ball to first. Hobson will take it himself, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Jonathan Albaladejo. He's clean through 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd and see if the Barnstormers can accomplish anything against Dormany.
Bottom half of the 3rd inning. Barnstormers coming to bat in a scoreless ball game. Final game of the 3-game series. We'll have it for you tomorrow night on Blue Ridge 11. Somerset and Lancaster wrap up this 3-game series. First pitch tomorrow night, 7 o'clock.
Big John. That was just walkout music. John Hutton, the all-time saves leader.
Well, it was appropriate.
Atlantic League, 6 feet 9 inches tall. Big John.
Did he have a blue glove?
That I don't remember. He may have.
You figured bathed, and it'd only be fitting for that.
Great guy, part of this league for a long time. He was, in fact, the Barnstormer for all of about 2 or 3 weeks a dozen years ago.
That had to be imposing. I mean, you get a guy 6'9", and he wasn't 6'9" and skinny. He's a big man.
Anderson De La Rosa leads off the 3rd inning, 260 batter for the year, and he looks at a Dormany fastball for strike 1. Thomas Dormany has just been almost mind-blowing the first 2 innings with his combination of stuff, and he's throwing it all for strikes. And what do you do? Grounded foul, it's 0-2. You have to be looking for a certain pitch in a certain spot.
And again, when you get ahead in the count, then it gives the pitcher the advantage to mix up and go with his out pitch, or maybe try something different.
0-2. De La Rosa hits this in the air to right. Francoso giving chase. He'll make a sliding effort and make the catch. Nice play by Mike Francoso. Put a star by that one in your scorebook. Boy, he covered a lot of ground, and De La Rosa disappointed that he doesn't have a double on his log.
He did have a long way to go. Plus, let's not forget, left-handed batter or left-handed pitcher against a right-handed batter, that ball's going to tail away. You know, and not only did he have to run for it, but Francoso saw the fence in the corner of his eye, and that's why he went into the slide to make the catch.
Here's Melvin Mercedes, his first at-bat since the first Friday in May. Opening night on the road at Southern Maryland. Taking a strike, it's 0-1.
Well, he had to be itching to get back.
1-1 to Melvin. That was a great at-bat for De La Rosa. Great piece of 2-strike hitting, but denied by Francoso. Bouncer back toward the hill, fumbled for a moment. Dormany still with a chance to gun down Mercedes, who may not quite be at 100% in terms of speed. He is at 100% in terms of bubble blowing.
Well, and I noticed his right ankle, he's still wearing a brace or a support of some kind. Now, let's face it, it's going to take a little bit, you know, get into that game condition shape. Yeah. I've never had a broken ankle, so I can't say what it's like to try and recover from it.
All I know from my own experience, it takes a while. I didn't have one, my wife did.
Well, and the thing that I would think about is you have the broken bone, and then you're starting to run. You're thinking, in the back of your mind, is something saying, "Oh, something's going to happen"? You know, is it really fully healed?
Well, my wife broke her right ankle just before Christmas one year, and it was 3 months before she could drive a car again.
Wow. Well, then you hear people say, well, if you're going to do something, it's better that you break it because it'll heal faster than a sprain or a hairline fracture. Well, obviously that wasn't the case with your wife.
Or Mercedes.
Oh, yeah.
To be on the disabled list, or the injured list to be more appropriate now, from May 4th through the 23rd of July. That is a long stretch on the side. 3-2 to Sanford. The last guy in the world that Dorminey wants to allow on base here. We'd see what kind of a pickoff move he's created under the new rules. Nate Reed had a very good one last night. We've seen Asher Tolliver with a very good one.
Well, and Nate always did have a good move to first.
3-2. Line drive right back to the mound, and I think that bat is a goner.
Yes, it is.
1, 2, 3. Go the Barnstormers again. We're at the end of 3. We haven't had a base runner yet. Right back to the breadbasket, not with a lot on it.
And a shattered bat. And speaking of shattered bats, watched a little bit of the Hall of Fame inductions on Sunday, and I can't think of anybody that broke more bats as a
Mariano.
pitcher. Oh, my gosh.
With that cut. The guy lived on one pitch.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming, and nobody could handle it. It
Incredible.
was the best pitch, single pitch, that probably anybody's ever had was Mariano Rivera's cutter. He was remarkable, and I know there was a bit of controversy. A writer for the Daily Beast put out something that basically trashed Rivera's character on the day of his Hall of Fame induction. Well,
What?
I have talked to people that have known Mariano Rivera. Cody Epley was his teammate, and Cody's told me one of the best guys ever.
Yeah, everybody that I heard, you know, other sports writers and teammates, very humble guy. Just devastating on the mound.
Everything I've always heard, just a truly, truly nice man. And they actually had a number of them. There's a pitch that gets to the backstop, and Ramon Flores is not going to go for the Z. Boy, if there was ever a time, can you imagine a perfect game being broken up on a Z? De La Rosa charged it to the backstop, and Flores says, I'm not going anywhere. Relax.
Now, and you wonder how many guys really would even attempt it.
1-2, De La Rosa to the plate. Hard hit ground ball. Right there is Mercedes. Boy, the throw comes out of the sun. And Casey Hobson somehow managed that for Albaladejo's 10th straight out. He's going to be seeing spots for a few minutes.
He was like a matador.
That's part of the art of playing here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Look at the glare that came out of. One of the brightest plays, and I mean that sort of in a sense of a pun, but most intelligent plays I've ever seen. Alexi Casilla, this wasn't his ballpark, moved out of the sun to make the throw to first on a play like that. He purposely took 2 or 3 steps back to make the throw to give whichever first baseman it was for York a better chance. Alfredo Rodriguez steps in. Will he be the game's first base runner? 2-0, he's got a chance. Rounded to third his first time up, did Rodriguez.
Well, and you got to think with Mercedes, it's going to take some time for him to realize at this time of day, yeah, you're going to have to keep those throws low.
All a learning process, but yep. I love the camera work because it showed the angle and the glare behind Mercedes on line with Casey Hobson. 3 balls and nothing. Rodriguez gets the walk. Somerset works the first man in this game aboard. Just the 9th walk given up by Albaladejo this year in 38 innings. He's not a guy who walks a lot. Now Will Kenger, the third baseman, will come to the plate. 1 out, 1 on. Rodriguez has 13 stolen bases on the year. Scott Kelly coaching first base tonight. They were double play partners a night ago, and they've been teammates in Somerset for a while. Here's the lanky Kenger. That ball is hammered to right field, and all of a sudden Somerset is up 2-0. That is home run number 10 for Will Kenger. And some Somerset faithful here tonight enjoying that one.
I tell you what, for 6'2" and 180 pounds, his bat speed, he turned on that thing in a hurry and just crushed it.
Kenger, the Atlantic League's leading beanpole. And you look at him, he's so long-legged. And this is one of the questions I've had about the automated balls and strike. And apparently the geniuses that have designed this system have this covered. But look at how high Kenger's knees are. So they must have some sort of body scanning software to some extent in all of this to differentiate between him and somebody who's 6'2" and all trunk.
Yeah.
To Ullman, that's in the dirt, and he's not running either. Ball 1, strike 1. Long Island had several chances over the weekend. Some teams just are not taking advantage of the potential for a Z. The Barnstormers, they're all about it.
Oh, yeah.
They've had 2.
Well, think about it. When you're the batter and you see the ball go in the dirt like that, you have to turn and then pick up where it is. And then you have to think in that split second, do I go, do I not go? That's not a lot of time.
Ullman bats at 1-1. Albaladejo misses upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Somerset taking advantage of getting the first base runner of the game. And all of a sudden, Kenger with the 2-run homer. Ground ball toward the hole, base hit left field. That's 3 in a row that have reached. Jimmy Paredes, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. Well, they are able to get to Albaladejo the second time around.
It's nice when you can breeze through the lineup the first time. It's the second time that is the telltale sign.
And we'll see if the Barnstormers do the same thing to Thomas Dormany.
Right.
They've seen him once through. Paredes sliced a line drive back in the second inning that gave Greg Golson a slight problem momentarily, and then he reacted to the slice and ran the ball down. 1 out, 1 on. Paredes takes a pitch low.
Albaladejo could really use a double play here.
Strike taken. It's 1-1. He retired the first 10. He got 6 of them on the ground, 2 on line drives, 2 on routine pop-ups or fly balls. No strikeouts for him so far. Wicked swing by Paredes. Albaladejo worked him down and in.
Can only go up with a shot of Dorminey with his off-speed pitch so far tonight. Thing just dropping.
For Albie, it's a splitter. We saw a couple of times last year where he got that pitch working unbelievably well. Fastball away, and Paredes bats 2-2, and he just obliterated opposing teams. Used that pitch to get the league's strikeout record, single season record, back in 2016 as a member of the Bridgeport Bluefish. He and Scott Schumann were reminiscing about the Bridgeport days on the last road trip. Conditions weren't the best, but they were saying how much fun they did have there. Ground ball. This is handled Mercedes, Martinez, and Hobson. They turn a double play. 4-6-3. 2 runs, though, for Somerset. 2 hits, nobody left. In the middle of the 4th, the Patriots own a 2-0 lead. It is Park in the Park night here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. So we've got 4-legged friends, large and small. That's a lapdog. Another small one. I haven't seen any big dogs out there yet. No Great Danes. Thomas Dorminey now operating with a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Top of the order for the Barnstormers: Martinez, Gendel, and Turdoslavich. Martinez hit the ball hard first time up. So did De La Rosa, but the big guys in the middle had a really hard time with Dorminey, falling victim to the assortment of off-speed stuff. Martinez gets his second look. Will it go any better for the Barnstormers as it did for Somerset? The Patriots would certainly like Dorminey to soak up some innings tonight, because they did have to use 4 relievers last night over 3+ innings, and they just don't have that many to spare. Michael gets ball 2 off the inside corner.
Well, that's the downside of the strikeouts. That's more pitches that he has to throw. as opposed to somebody like Albaladejo that pitches the contact.
A lot of the pitches for Dorminey were 2-strike foul balls in the first inning.
Yeah, yeah.
Martinez batting 2-1. Pitch totals through the first 3 innings were even. Bounder foul, it's 2-2. Lancaster trying to win 3 in a row for the second time this year and trying to win back-to-back games within a series for the first time since June 12 and 13.
And that seems like an eternity ago.
The last 2 games at Sugar Land, this club came home on a real high from Texas. They trashed the Skeeters the last 2 games of that series, and it's hard to do down there. They won 12-5, and they won substantially the next day, trying to pick that score back up 8-2. And then hit the York series, and everything fell apart. 2-2 to Martinez. Strike 3 called on the outside corner.
Well, he
Thomas Dorminey with 5. 1 out. Here's Kindle, who was fooled by a breaking ball his first time up.
Well, it was just a perfect spot by Dorminey. Outside corner of the plate. Martinez, no hesitation. He knew it.
Barnstormers muttering to themselves so far tonight. And to Kindle. Caleb shows bunt and takes a ball outside and low. 1-0. Again, Lancaster faced Dorminey in the night game of the day-night doubleheader back on June 26th. He allowed 5 hits in that ball game. Zach Schenk had the only one for extra bases. He had a double. He walked 2, struck out 6. Dan Gamache had a pair of singles. The breaking ball dances low, 2-0. Michael Martinez had a base hit his first time up. Schenk had 2 hits. Gamache had 2 hits. So you only have one of those hits in the lineup tonight.
Any word on how Gamache is doing so far?
You don't want to know.
Uh-oh.
Not well.
Oh, boy.
Which has all of us stunned, but he's still looking for a hit.
Wow. Well, it's got to be frustrating, too, as well as he was hitting down here.
Kindle batting 2-1. It'll come around. Dorminey to Kindle. He has a chance to reach. It's 3 balls and a strike.
The only question is, how big of a window do you have? That's the $64,000 question. There we go.
Not as big as if you were a first-round draft choice who just signed for $3 million.
Yeah.
1 out, 1 on. Kindle with the base on balls, his 47th this year. Joe Terdoslavich will come to the plate. Terdoslavich, a strikeout victim his first time up.
Why is it every time that John has the miniature in there announcing they always get Terdoslavich?
I know adults who do not handle this name well. Fouled right to the front of the Somerset dugout.
Good hands.
Glenn Barker with the hands. He gets Juice Gums points, and he's not even in the coach's box. Nice play, Glenn. He'll take that one. Foul ball. It's 0-2. They gave out shirts from the internationally known catch by my counterpart, Mark Schwartz, from the Patriots earlier this year, where he said, "I'm so proud of myself." Schwartz is wearing one of them tonight. He should give it to Glenn.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. 0-2. Terdoslavich rips that ball into right field. Gindel had to pull up, so he will only make it to second. Destin Hood will bat with 2 runners on ahead of him. The perfect game is gone, and now the no-hitter is gone. Terdoslavich going the other way. For the Barnstormers, a chance here in the 4th inning. Destin Hood will come to the plate with 2 men on.
Nice piece of hitting by Terdoslavich, and then Gindel having to do a little dance around that ball.
He's the 2nd round draft choice for Average Joe's Gym.
Yeah. Let's see if Lancaster can take advantage of this now and put something together, get at least one of those runs back.
Dorminey to Hood. Destin looks at a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Gindel's on, Terdoslavich is on, but the point I made earlier, asking Ross the other day, he needs a couple other guys to produce behind these 2. And Hood's still in that early 50 at bat window that you talk about. He hadn't faced live pitching since the end of last year. He's only been active for less than 3 weeks. 2 on with 1 out. Gindel takes off, and Dorminey makes a high throw. Terdoslavich ducks into second, and now Gindel will get back to second, and Terdoslavich is in a rundown. And now Gindel's in a rundown, and Terdoslavich is at second. And now the throw does not get Gindel, but they do get Terdoslavich.
Okay, let's see how you write this one in the book.
Well, whatever the combination is, it's going to look like a telephone number. And it's actually Terdoslavich that is caught stealing. Gindel was the guy that broke too soon. 1-5, that's Kenger. Then to
3.
Espinal, that's 3. Then we go to Rodriguez, that's 6. Then to Massey, that's 4. And then 3. 1, 5, 3, 6, 4, 3. Here's the pitch. Hood taps it foul at the plate. Lancaster's left with Gindel at second base and 2 outs.
So that, wow. So that is Terdoslavich thrown out, stealing. 1, 5, 3. I can't fit it in my little space here for the 4th inning.
1, 5, 3, 6, 4, 3. Fastball upstairs. Hood batting 2-2. There's still a chance to get a run on the board. The Barnstormers perhaps a little too aggressive on the bases, trying to make some things happen against Dorminey. He's tough to hit. To Hood, 2-2. And it's fouled off his foot up the third baseline.
Well, the aggressiveness kind of backfired on them last night, too, in the 9th inning. Let's hope it doesn't backfire here in the 4th with a chance to get on the board.
The only way that that play doesn't hurt the Barnstormers is if you see Destin Hood hit a ground ball right at an infielder that you figure would have been a double play anyhow. He hits a home run. Okay, great. It's tied 2-2, but it would have been 3-2. If he walks, it's first and second, 2 outs instead of bases loaded, 1 out. If he makes an out, well, the Barnstormers still would have been alive in the inning for Hobson. Here's a 2-2. Bouncing ball. Foul behind Ross.
And you mentioned earlier, too, that Ross is looking for some of these guys a little more production out of them. Not only the production, but to try and do it all together so that this team can really get on a roll and start scoring a lot more runs, taking some of the pressure off the pitching staff.
Hood takes strike 3. He goes down looking. Second called third strike of the inning for Dorminey, and the Barnstormers still unable to get on track. They get one hit, they leave one. Dorminey and the Patriots lead 2-0 through 4. Destin Hood, Zach Shank, and the Barnstormers dugout with Somerset leading 2-0 on one swing of the bat. Will Kinser's 10th home run of the campaign. Edwin Espinal leads off in the 5th inning. Not smiling. Looks like he means all business here.
Well, we'll see what happens. Once he steps in.
Espinal line to Hobson, first time up. Albaladejo goes to work and missed inside.
We're slightly angled. Looked good from this angle.
We've had some fun with the Patriots this year. Pacioli's amazing catch in left field against Terdoslavich. Moments with this man, Edwin Espinal.
Wasn't that one of our first telecasts, too?
It was the first.
Yes, it was the first one. It was a Sunday afternoon game.
Smash, and it takes a crazy slow hop. Martinez with the throw, they get Espinal.
Nice
that was
pick.
Well played on every end, but what a strange reaction when that ball hit the dirt. It looked like it was hit really hard. Martinez was going to chase it in the hole, and then it slowed down and actually bounced back the other way.
Yeah.
Martinez made a tremendous reaction to it, and Hobson is as good at picking balls out of the dirt as we've had. Well, there's one out here in the top of the 5th inning. That was a squirrely bounce.
Kind of hit and spun on an angle. But when you get somebody as smooth as Martinez, it's just a quick adjustment. Make it look effortless.
I was ready to see what he could do to the backhand in the hole on that play. And all of a sudden, he had to reverse his field. And now here is Massey with a drive out the center. Backing up on it is Sanford. Darian gets there. 2 outs in the inning, and Justin Pacioli will step in.
Geez, not only he got back there, but he had time to get set, too. So just kind of gives you an idea of just how fast Sanford is and the amount of ground he can cover in a very short period of time.
Darian's dad is here from St. Louis. First time he's really been able to make it here this year. I'm sure Darian wants to perform well tonight. That one routine for him. Here's Pacioli. Albaladejo chased by High Point after 4 1/3 innings his last time out. He's 2 outs into the 5th here. And Sanford will have to chase this one. But again, he's there. He gets such quick starts, such good reads. Albladeo uses his defense for a 7-pitch inning. We're halfway through regulation, 4.5 in the books, 2-0 Patriots. Thomas Dorminey has been the man of the hour for the Somerset Patriots. He has recorded 6 strikeouts. He has walked 1. Devon Torrance has not started since his injury Friday night, but he was utilized as a pinch runner in the 10th inning last night. He scored the winning run for the Barnstormers in that thrilling 5-4 victory against the Patriots in the series opener. Lancaster again down by 2 to the Patriots. It was 4-2 going into the bottom of the 9th last night. Barnstormers, if they have their druthers, they're again my favorite word, one of them. If they have their druthers, they'll catch up before the 9th inning tonight.
Yeah, isn't that a word I looked up for you last week?
It was.
Yeah.
Hobson grounded out his first time up on a 3-0 pitch. Breaking ball low from Dorminey. Ball 1, no strikes.
Hey, whether they do it 9 or 10, just be nice to say a 3-game win streak. Tie their longest of the season.
Hobson swings, hits a blast, right field, way back it goes, and the walls will not contain it. Casey Hobson has homered 2 nights in a row, and he takes the ball club lead with his 14th of the season. Hobson around the bases. It's his 4th against Somerset this year, and he cuts the lead in half.
Well, he's in a long ball groove right now.
I don't know if the pitch sequence would have been the same. But again, imagine if the Barnstormers don't cause that out on the bases last inning.
Yeah.
And Hood strikes out. Hobson gets that pitch. Same result. It's a 3-run homer instead of a solo shot. But you don't know if the sequence is going to be the same. You can never assume that. Golson goes the other way. Fly ball. Francoso racing over. Francoso won't get to it. That ball drops in fair. And holding on at first base is Golson with a bloop single down the right field line. Anderson De La Rosa will come to the plate.
Yeah, and a lot of times you want to see the guy maybe try and stretch that into a double, but this is one time I'm kind of glad you're not overly aggressive, because you feel like now you've got to Dorminey. You got a hit, you got a run. Now let's try and build on it.
De La Rosa robbed by Francoso back in the 3rd inning. Golson hit his a little closer to the line. Francoso still a good play to get there and hold it to a single. First pitch strike to De La Rosa. It's 0-1.
You know, and going back to that home run from Hobson, that wasn't that big, long, looping home run swing that you see. It was kind of that Chase Utley compact, but a lot of power behind it.
De La Rosa swings at an off-speed pitch and bounds it foul. It's 0-2.
His pitches that are going down and breaking late, those are the ones they're having problems with. Dorminey's, his problem is the pitch up in the zone.
De La Rosa, did he hold on the swing? He did not.
Well, even De La Rosa knew it.
7th strikeout for Thomas Dorminey. Melvin Mercedes will come to the plate. Mercedes with a comebacker his first time up. Fumbled briefly by Dorminey, but the left-hander recovered.
Again, there's another example of that pitch just diving out of the strike zone, and just, it's so hard when you're a batter to not commit to it, because it looks as though that's coming in over the plate, and then at the last second dropping out.
Mercedes punches a foul off to the right. 1 strike to the Barnstormers' second baseman. The home run for Hobson, his 69th as a Barnstormer. He's number 2 all time, trailing only Blake Galen.
What's Blake's total?
99.
Okay.
Melvin turns on it, but pulls it foul on the ground and trails Dorminey 0-2. Darian Sanford waits on deck. An exchange of home runs between these two ball clubs, but Kenders came with a runner on base, and Hobson's leading off an inning. That is where we sit. Mercedes batting 0-2, taps a foul.
Well, Lancaster, we saw it in the first inning. Nice job of fouling off a number of pitches. You make Dorminey work here in these mid to late innings. Try and wear him down a little bit.
In the air to right, Francoso coming in for it. Relatively easy catch, 2 outs. It's up to Sanford here in the bottom of the 5th if the Barnstormers are to do any more. Melvin Mercedes was recommended to Ross Peoples by both Tommy Everidge and Lloyd Turner. 2 legends, if you will, as Barnstormers who both coach in the Oakland organization. They raved about him. And unfortunately, that injury has curtailed Melvin's season. Now to Sanford, upstairs, and a ball, 1-0. Wouldn't shock me to see Golson run here. Sanford gets ball 2. It's 2-0. But you get the impression the Barnstormers aren't terribly comfortable trying to steal second base off of Dorminey, at least not yet. But if Golson gets thrown out, you have Sanford leading off the next inning. If he makes it, Sanford's largely a singles hitter. You got a far better chance at getting a run home. 2-0. Taken for a strike, and still no movement on the part of Golson, which means he can't read Dorminey, and Dorminey hasn't given him the opportunity to read him yet.
Well, and he doesn't have a real high leg kick, but it's quick. It's not like he holds it up there.
To the backstop.
Wow.
And Golson will go to second on the wild pitch.
It's not even a jog, that's a stroll.
Now a chance to drive in a run. Notice Sanford didn't take off for first.
No.
He could have. In the dirt, we go to 3-0.
Well, you know, with Golson at first base, I was thinking, okay, is this a time maybe we would see Sanford maybe try and drop down a bunt. But now with Golson at second base, I say that's off the table. Let him swing away and hope he can slap a base hit.
Darian has the edge 3-1. His bat has a bit more pop right-handed. He does not choke up nearly as far as a right-handed batter. At the plate and foul.
Well, I would love to see him pull one down the line. Have it hug the line and then just ricochet around that corner.
And this is one of the differences with the new two-strike bunting rule, is that the corner infielders can't back up, and it gives him more room to get the ball around, say, Kenger over at third. He still has to play up. 3-2. Struck him out. The pitch was high. 8th strikeout for Dorminey. Lancaster does get 1 run back on the Hobson homer. They leave Golson in scoring position, and we go to the 6th. 2-1 Somerset. Sunset at Clipper Magazine Stadium. One of my favorite parts of the day. The sun wasn't terrible in here tonight.
Nope.
So, save my confessions for another day.
What about, did you guys get rained on at all last night?
I don't believe so. Not during the game, certainly. Mike Francoso leads off the 6th inning against Jonathan Albaladejo. Francoso has been roaming far and wide in right field tonight. He's now on the coaching staff for Brett Jody. And he's definitely, again, a Brett Jody kind of player. You can move him around. We see him in right field tonight. Brett's comfortable putting him at second base, third base, anywhere in the outfield. And that slap type of hitter. Slap, and Mercedes is there for out number 1. Melvin Mercedes hasn't missed a beat defensively.
Oh, yeah. Now, did you say Sparky Lyle is still helping out with Somerset?
He's manager emeritus of the Patriots. He's at all the home games, or most of them. Shaking hands and kissing babies, because the other way around is frowned upon.
What a great ambassador for this league.
He is. Sparky's a lot of fun. I always enjoy visiting with him when we go to TD Bank Park. Still has that great laugh. Strike taken. It is 0-1.
Oh,
and loves the game.
And the stories that I'm sure he could share.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Fouled off. 2 strikes. But we've had the opportunity just in this league alone to get to know a couple of Hall of Famers, Sparky Lyle, Brooks Robinson, around this league. Buddy Harrelson's not a Hall of Famer, but obviously such a key part of the Miracle Mets of '69 that he's certainly got his place in baseball lore. Gary Carter, managing the Long Island Ducks for a year. So right there, 3 Hall of Famers. Tim Raines, there's a 4th.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you know, with Bud Harrelson, yeah, part of that 69 Mets team, but I think what really put Bud Harrelson on the map was he had
Rose.
that confrontation with Pete Rose in the 73 playoffs. He stood up to Pete. He grabbed the jersey. It was almost like a hockey fight. They grabbed the jerseys, and Bud Harrelson went toe-to-toe with him. I don't think any punches were thrown, but
Flores checks his swing on a breaking ball in the dirt. The count is full, 3-2. Third time they faced Albaladejo tonight. Flores 0 for 2 on ground balls.
this guy's had a heck of a season.
Hot lately is Flores, who's been on base 24 of 25, but not yet tonight, as Melvin Mercedes stands in the way of another ground ball.
Well, he's gotten his share of ground balls.
That's his 4th assist. 2 outs, and Alfredo Rodriguez will come to the plate.
And what was nice, too, was seeing him turn that double play back in the 4th inning to end the 4th.
Albaladejo, I think, is pitching his best game of the season so far.
I mean, he was perfect through 5 innings. That 1/4 inning, the walk and then the home run, is the difference.
Retired the first 10 batters he faced, 3 in a row reached, and now he's gotten 6 straight. The walk to Rodriguez broke things up for a moment. Now Alfredo with a pop fly, foul. Casey Hobson can't find it in the twilight, but it was unplayable anyhow. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That is a horrible feeling for a defender.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it's not often that you see Albaladejo with back-to-back bad outings.
He's had more difficulty this year. Of course, he was out for a month and a half or so. He's 1-6. The ERA over 6 coming into tonight. To Rodriguez, didn't get it. 2-2. Still looking for his first strikeout, which is a very odd outing for Albaladejo.
Yeah, especially based on his history.
Facing the former Maryland Terrapin, Alfredo Rodriguez. To the backstop. This man is never an easy out. So it seems. Rodriguez, again, a Brett Jody type player. He's not a big home run hitter. He'll hit one from time to time, but always seems to be able to come up with a 2-out RBI hit in a close game. That kind of a player. Very smooth defensively.
And he had a stretch in the month of May where he was on base 17 straight games. So like you said, they might not have a lot of pop as far as home run is concerned, but these guys get on base and they score runs.
They have a bit more power this year with Kenger and Paredes and Ullman. The payoff to Rodriguez. Turns on it and lofts a fly ball foul.
Oh. Tried to bail out of the way and then almost rolled back on top of it. I like the pitch. Go, lean forward. Okay, lay back. Oh.
Got in under you. Bouncing ball, shortstop. Should be routine for Michael. It is a routine inning for Albaladejo. A 3 ground ball inning for the second time tonight. Nothing across. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Somerset is up by 1. Are you hungry, Art?
Oh, yeah.
I am definitely hungry. It's getting to be about that time.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
It seems to be a popular item here this evening. There's a little ice cream shop a couple of blocks down from the hotel in High Point. And I've decided that is my happy place in the Atlantic Lake. It's a small street corner. They carry about 8 or 10 flavors. And I walked in there the last time we were at High Point. I got some walking to the ballpark. And I got black cherry. And I had this wonderful conversation with the lady behind the counter. They had not realized that black cherry ice cream was a thing. And they had people inquiring if they were ever going to get black cherry, so they decided to try it, and it turned into their biggest seller.
Wow. Because you're normally a black raspberry guy.
That they did not have. But they have my second choice, which is butter pecan.
So will you go off the rail and try something different?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Last time I was home, I got Rocky Road. Because as Weird Al would say, I love Rocky Road. 3-0. Martinez will look at it and take a strike. Dorminey's only walk so far in the game to Caleb Gindel back in the 4th inning. Left-hander has struck out 2 batters in 4 different innings. He walks Martinez. The tying run is on for the Barnstormers to start the 6th. Caleb Gindel will step in. Gindel a strikeout and a walk so far.
I think it's a strawberry kind of night.
Sugarland and York have split a morning doubleheader. The Skeeters won the opener 5-0. York came back 10-2 in the nightcap. New Britain and Long Island also playing 2. New Britain won the opener 3-1. They're in a day-night doubleheader, and Long Island up 7-3 in the bottom half of the 6th inning in Game 2. High Point leads Southern Maryland 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gindel at 1-0. There goes the runner. The snap throw by Ullman does not have Michael Martinez. He steals his 4th. Lancaster advances the tying run to scoring position.
Yeah, Ullman really never had a chance to get up and plant his foot, but you know what? That was still a heck of a throw down to second base.
When you throw from your knees and get that much on it, Ullman disappointed, but he really never had a chance.
That's a heck of a throw.
2-0 on Gindel. He gets ball 3. Dorminey has suddenly lost the strike zone.
Yeah,
he's missed with 7 of 8. And the Somerset bullpen goes into high alert. Strike taken by Gindel to push the count to 3-1. A right-hander is going to begin to get loose in a hurry for the Patriots. (3-1) to Gindel. He gets ball 4, and Lancaster has 2 on with none out. Dorminey has walked 2 in a row to start the bottom of the 6th inning. As the right-hander starts to throw for the Patriots.
James Puglisi.
James Puglisi.
The Puglisi?
Yeah, the E is silent in this case, which threw me for a while because I had friends in high school with the last name Puglisi. But it's Puglisi in his case. The E is optional. Terdoslavich stands in against Dormany. Joe, a single into right field back in the 4th inning. The Barnstormers 3 hits in this game. Somerset only 2.
Well, we saw the walk allowed by Abaladejo come back to bite him. Let's see if Lancaster can take advantage of the 2 walks this inning from Dormany.
Terdoslavich pulls a line drive to left. That's in for a base hit. Martinez will circle and he will score. The ball game tied at 2. Joe Terdoslavich, an RBI single. His longest hitting streak of the season. It's 7 games. He has gone 2 for 3 tonight. The man is on fire. He's 13 out of 24.
Well, that was going down and in. And he just went right along with it and muscled it into left field.
Flores did not try to do too much. He made sure Gindel had no ideas about going to 3rd. Now here is Destin Hood, who's 0 for 2 on strikes tonight against Dormany. Lancaster's tied it, and Brett Jody. Puglisi will be coming in. Lancaster has tied it up against Dormany. He won't win his straight decision here tonight. A punch of the gloves with Kendra, and Puglisi will come in. 2-2. We'll be back with James Puglisi against Destin Hood in just a moment. James Puglisi takes over in the bottom of the 6th inning, and he inherits runners at 1st and 2nd. Puglisi, the unfortunate losing pitcher for the Patriots last night. He faced 1 batter and gave up a soft line drive single to center by Hobson, but the gift runner to start off the 10th inning was on base, and that was the winning run. Fastball past Destin Hood, no balls and a strike. Lancaster with a golden opportunity to jump ahead here in the 6th inning. Gindel at 2nd, Terdoslavich at 1st, Hood backed up by Hobson, and then Golson. The Puglisi offering just misses. It's 1-1.
Well, and going back to that play in the 10th inning last night, too. I mean, Pacioli came up with it and wanted to make sure that the runner wasn't going to go, wanted to throw behind him. The only problem is it went to the home plate side of 3rd base and nearly hit Torrance.
That was actually a relay throw from Edwin Espinal. The editing made it look like it was Piccoli who threw third. Piccoli threw to the cutoff man.
Right.
Espinal was the guy who tried to backpick Torrance and missed with the throw. 2-1. Hood with a swing and a miss.
Kendra really had no chance at making that catch either. But hey, you know what? You said it before. Barnstormers will take the win. Any way they can get them.
2-2. Hood fouls it off. Like the way the Barnstormers have battled back tonight. I like the way Albaladejo turned things back around after giving up the 3 straight base runners in the 4th inning. He settled it down. He's retired 7 in a row. He's got 11 ground balls tonight.
Wow. And this is the guy that I remember seeing last year. This is the first time I've seen him this year. And looks as though he might have saved his best outing of the season for tonight.
Hood bats 2-2 with the suddenly hot Hobson waiting on deck. The pitch met and fouled away. Destin fighting James Puglisi. Right-hander with a record now of 3-1, and it was a doubly unearned run to him last night. And he doesn't get to take one off for that. 3.28 is ERA. To Hood, breaking ball, line, base hit in the right center. That's got a lot on it. It's going all the way to the wall. Gindel will score. Terdoslavich is coming. Here's a throw home. The slide is safe. Hood is doubled in 2. Lancaster leads 4-2.
What a really nice at bat by Hood. We saw him foul off a number of pitches, and a lot of them fouled off to the right side. This one, he stayed back enough, shot the gap in right center, and able to clear the bases.
The Barnstormers brought in Destin Hood. They wanted Hood all along to drive in runs. What I like about Hood, he does strike out a lot, but when that ball comes off his bat, look at the life that baseball had on it. That was a low line drive that didn't clear the second baseman, Craig Massey, by all that much, but it went all the way to the wall. There wasn't much that the Patriots could do about it. Hobson batting with Hood at second. Still nobody out here in the 6th inning, and Lancaster has taken a 2-run lead. Big swing by KC. He homered last inning. He was trying to match it. Book is closed on Dorminey. Gives up 4 runs tonight in 5+ innings on 4 hits, 3 walks, and he struck out 8.
So yes, the base on balls come back to haunt Dorminey. And this is what you like to see. Guys stringing together a number of hits.
Hobson,
oh man,
pops up the 1-1, backing out of play. Also, this is a time of night and the perfect conditions for a fly ball to get lost.
Yeah, because we saw Hobson and how he battled the sky on that pop-up that went foul.
A couple more minutes and that opportunity is likely to go away. Hobson, Golson, and De La Rosa with chances to drive in an extra run. It won't be Hobson. He swings and misses. Puglisi strikes him out. 9 strikeouts for Somerset pitching tonight. Greg Golson comes in, 1 for 2. But strikeouts aren't everything. They don't determine a game. Albaladejo has not struck out a soul through 6 innings, but he's given up only 3 base runners, 2 runs. Golson looped a base hit down the right field line last time up. He is 1 out of 2 in the game. And he slams a 1-hopper to the second baseman. Massey with an easy play over at first. Hood advances to third, but now with 2 outs for De La Rosa. De La Rosa's 0 for 2.
Well, you know, Lancaster's put up 3 this inning before. You would love to get that 4th run and really give Albaladejo a little more of a cushion to work with. Although at 84 pitches, you wonder how many more innings Ross will go with him. I mean, I'd love to see him if he can get a good inning in the 7th. Heck, I'd let him go out and start the 8th inning.
Kendra Ullman and Paredes do. Ball 1 to De La Rosa. The Barnstormers would love this run.
Yep.
Hood was at second with nobody out, and when you have that, you always want that guy to score. Otherwise, you feel like you've let the opponents off the hook. 1-0. De La Rosa pulls a ground ball through, base hit. Hood comes home, and it's 5-2. Anderson De La Rosa does get the run across. A 4-run 6th inning for the Barnstormers, who lead by 3.
Well, and you said at the top of the telecast, Ross is looking for some guys to step up their production. Hood, a 2-run double. Hobson, a solo home run. De La Rosa now with a big 2-out hit.
Gendel and Terdoslavich have been more or less table setters. The guys behind them starting to have big nights. Mercedes batting lefty for the first time. Swinging a foul. It's 0-1. Melvin has flied out the right and hit a comebacker, 0 for 2. 20th run batted in of the season for De La Rosa. In a season that has admittedly been bizarre, the Barnstormers, if they win tonight, bouncer foul, and actually this is already true, they have more wins this year when their opponents have scored first than they do when they have scored first.
Yeah, add that to the season of scratch your head. There's so many things that, you're right, has been a bizarre season for the Barnstormers. Because so many times, usually, that's the stat. Well, if they score first, their winning percentage is typically pretty high. But hey, I like that shows that they've got the fight.
The club is 13-24 when it has scored the first run, and at the moment 14-30 when it is not. This another game where the opponents scored first. Now Lancaster with a 5-2 lead. Melvin Mercedes trying to add to the inning. Pugliese with the 1-2 got him. And a 10th Barnstormer is struck out in this ball game. But what a productive inning. 4 crossing the plate on 3 hits and 2 walks. Lancaster getting the clutch base hits. 1 man left on. And at the end of 6, the Barnstormers lead by 3. Lancaster has jumped ahead. Joe Terdoslavich a tying base hit. Destin Hood a go-ahead double. Anderson De La Rosa with an RBI single to provide a little bit of a cushion for his battery mate, Jonathan Albaladejo, as we go to the 7th inning. Will Kendra leads off the 7th inning. The last time up, he provided the offense we have seen so far tonight out of the Somerset Patriots. And Caleb Gindel didn't even turn around. The ball laced off the tents out in right field. That was number 10 for Kenger. Albaladejo's been able to shrug that off. He's retired the last 7. To Kenger now. A first pitch he can't hit out of the ballpark. It's 1-0.
That Marksberry is starting to throw in the Lancaster bullpen.
Bouncer foul, 1-1.
Granitz was out stretching the legs, but now it's Marksberry that's with the tosses. Would love to see Albaladejo go and finish this inning.
Well, to do that, he may have to have a 1-2-3 inning. Kenger takes ball 2, floated off the outside corner. 2-1. There you get a look at Granitz. He, the holder of the walkie-talkie. Kenger takes a second strike. It's 2-2. Albaladejo has allowed 2 hits and a walk. He has not struck out a batter in 6 innings of work. And displaying that you don't need to be successful.
Nope. Absolutely.
The 2-2 pitch. That's the first one. Crossed him up with a breaking ball. Kenger goes away.
And a beauty. And a great way to start the inning. Getting that first out. I would say, even if he gives up a base hit, you keep him in the ballgame. If they get a guy in scoring position, that might change the philosophy.
Michael Ullman is 1 for 2. He has fly to deep left and single to left. Albaladejo delivers inside, chasing him out of the box. Ball 1, no strikes.
What I see the other, I think it was within the last week, it was an anniversary of Greg Maddux threw a 77-pitch complete game for the Braves against the Cubs, and that included 6 strikeouts. I mean, that just is amazing.
Well, Tommy John, another baseball legend that we've had the opportunity to meet here in the Atlantic League when he managed Bridgeport, he told me that his first big league complete game, he threw 64 pitches. Tommy was that kind of a pitcher.
Yeah.
Ground ball, ground ball, ground ball,
yep.
Ground ball. Next thing you knew, he was winning 4-1, and the game was in the 9th inning. And he didn't break a sweat. 1-2. He tried the breaking ball, didn't find the range with it. It's 2-2.
And the thing is, here's a guy that had a really nice career, but he's known more now for the surgery.
For the surgery. People forget how great he actually was.
Oh, yeah.
White Sox, Dodgers, Yankees, Oakland a little bit. 2-2. Popped up and maybe playable. Hobson toward his own dugout. Enough room for the catch. 9 in a row for Albaladejo. Jimmy Paredes will come to the plate. Line to left and grounded into a double play. What a night for Albaladejo. This is the longest he's gone into a game this year. The previous high was 6 1/3 innings in his second start of the season, which resulted in a 5-2 loss to the Long Island Ducks. Gave up 5 runs, 3 earned in the 6 1/3 inning stint that night. 2 gone. Paredes will dig in. Albaladejo below the knees for a ball, 1-0. Edwin Espinal, the on deck hitter. Jimmy Paredes is a big fellow. Fouled the other way. It's 1-1.
Has there been any further discussion as far as extending the? Because I know they're starting to implement more in the major leagues.
The White Sox have done it. I think here what you could see is that last section of net, instead of angling down, is there's a smash to short. And it took a weird hop over the glove of Michael Martinez. 2-out base runner with Espinal coming to the plate. Martinez went down to play that to the backhand. And the ball, let's look at this. Came up off the top of the gloves. He spun around, went to make the play to the backhand. That's a base hit. Evil little hop on Martinez.
He's had a couple of those tonight.
Here is Espinal, who's lined to first and grounded to short. Maybe the last batter Albaladejo sees one way or the other with the left-handed batting Massey waiting on deck. Either Albie finishes this inning and comes out after 7, or if Espinal gets on base here, I think you go for the left-on-left matchup with the tying run coming to the plate.
Let's see it end on a positive note. Get Espinal here to end the inning and walk to the dugout to the approval of the fans.
Breaking ball misses. It's 1-1. Martinez probably would like another shot at that last play off the bat of Paredes, but it came off the end of Jimmy's bat and it had a lot of spin to it. One on Espinal, bounce to the hill. Albaladejo with a short underhand throw is through 7. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. The Barnstormers at the stretch with a 5-2 lead. Defense tonight, and a little bit more defense. The bats eventually came to life. Will Kinzer taking Somerset to a 2-0 lead with his 10th home run of the season. The Barnstormers ended that inning on a double play, and Jonathan Albaladejo got on a roll. Meanwhile, the Barnstormers got one back on a home run by Casey Hobson. And Joe Terdoslavich tied the game on an RBI single. Destin Hood goes at the gap. A 2-run double, 4-2. And he scores on a single by Anderson De La Rosa. The Barnstormers with a 5-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Sanford, Martinez, and Gindel are the scheduled hitters for the Barnstormers. James Puglisi stays out on the hill for the Somerset Patriots. Again, the pitching numbers for Somerset have dwindled. They've got nothing but top-flight pitchers out there. They just don't have as many as Brett Jody would like. Fouled into the seats by Darian. No balls and a strike. Sanford 0 for 2. Great to see Albaladejo have the outing that he has had tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I had to double check. That was the first base runner that Somerset has left on. Because the other one, Ullman got wiped out in the double play to end the 4th inning. And that's it, because, I mean, 5 out of the 7 innings, Albaladejo put him down 1-2-3.
Sanford stays alive with another foul ball. Darian stealing a lot of bases these days, but he could take more. He is just mired in a really bad slump. He is 4 out of his last 43. That is lined again right back to the mound and right at the glove of Puglisi. 1 out here in the 7th inning.
Well, and how many times do you see it? An individual player or a team is red hot, and then you get to the All-Star break, and you're thinking, oh, maybe this will carry over. So many times, then it goes just in the opposite direction. You want to keep going. You're in a groove, and now you got that break. Because if I'm not mistaken, for Sanford, it's been since the All-Star break, correct?
It started the last game before,
okay.
But basically, yes. Barnstormers, the last game before the All-Star break, only had 2 hits off of the York Revolution. Michael Martinez 0 for 2 with a walk, stolen base, and he scored a run. It is 1-1 to him with 1 out, nobody on. Barnstormers are 6 outs away from winning their 3rd in a row. 2-1. It happened June 1 through 4, the only other 3-game winning streak of the season. 2 wins against Southern Maryland, 1 against Sugar Land. Michael swings and misses.
And you're saying Oberholzer's a question mark for tomorrow?
That was what Ross told me last night. I haven't confirmed that with the Patriots. Slapped foul. Martinez is still alive.
But Buddy Bauman's a go.
Yes, he is. It's actually, the Somerset game notes still have Oberholzer listed. 2-2, smash. Nice play by Espinal. He'll outrun Martinez. 3 unassisted, 2 outs. And Gendel will step in. Caleb Gendel has walked 5 times in the series.
That's why he's among the league leaders in base on balls.
And he's a more patient hitter, batting number 2 than he is batting 3 or 4. He understands the difference between being the number 2 hitter and a guy you expect to drive in a lot of runs from the 3 or 4 spots. Here he goes after a pitch and bounds it foul at the first baseline.
You know, and with Nash leading the league in base on balls, you wonder how many of those are the unintentional, intentional walks, too.
Telvin Nash, the odds-on favorite to be named the Player of the Year in the Atlantic League. 0-1 to Gendel. He takes a 2nd strike from Puglisi, though his teammate Isaias Tejeda may not be far behind. That is the deadliest 1-2 punch in the league. Gendel and Terdoslavich, not bad. But Nash and Tejeda, and the worst part about it is they've been there in the second half for York 3-4 years in a row. Gendel pops this up. Could be playable, but no. Bounces near Silo in the seats.
And just as you had predicted, the Revs making a run, starting tonight 8-3, and a game on top of Southern Maryland.
And they split earlier today, so they're 9-4 here in the second half. Barnstormers have all their head-to-head meetings with York later on in the half. We're still 2.5 weeks away from playing them for the first time this half. And the Barnstormers will have to be hot. They've got to take care of York themselves.
Yeah.
It's going to boil down to that. You can't expect other teams to help you out very much with the Revs right now. Swing and a miss. Good fastball from Puglisi. Gendel goes down on strikes. The Barnstormers are retired in 1-2-3 fashion in the bottom of the 7th inning. Eric and I are going to take a Turkey Hill ice cream break. We'll be back with the 8th inning. The Barnstormers leading by 3. Tomorrow night, we'll wrap up this series. Will the Barnstormers be looking for a sweep of the Somerset Patriots? Could happen. We'll be back with you at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. The Barnstormers wrap up the series against the Patriots. Southern Maryland coming in for the weekend. We've got Christmas in July on Friday night. Celtic night along with, I guess, maybe green fireworks on Saturday. And then a Sunday fun day. And we'll be back with you on Blue Ridge 11 on Sunday with the series finale against the Blue Crabs. Matt Marksbury takes over in the 8th inning for the Barnstormers. He'll face the bottom three in the order, Massey, Paccioli, and Francoso. Marksbury threw an inning and a third last night. He got 3 flyouts to center and a strikeout. But perfect work for him, and just about perfect work for 6 innings out of the bullpen combined. 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 hit batter. And that was it. 6 shutout innings for the Pen last night. Craig Massey steps in at 0 for 2. Marksbury goes to work, and the first pitch buried in the zone, strike 1. The bullpen has turned the season around. Marksbury has given up just 1 earned run in his last 13 and a third innings. On 5 hits and 2 walks, he has struck out 16. The 0-1, swing and a miss. Another fastball to Massey. It's 0-2.
And isn't it coincidental that the bullpen started to fall in place with the reappearance of Scott Schumann?
Absolutely. That's, to me, been the ticket.
And you would love nothing more to see a 1-2-3 inning out of Marksbury.
0-2 pitch. That's 1-2-3 strikes. Massey is down, 1 away. Albaladejo went 7. He gave up just 3 hits, 2 runs, walked 1, struck out 1. His first quality start of the season. Marksbury has the 8th, and I would imagine we'll see Epley for the 9th. Justin Paccioli will step in. He's 0 for 2.
I love it. Marksbury comes right out. Challenge, challenge, challenge.
He did go right after him.
Yes, he did.
To Paccioli, low for ball. 1-0. There have been so preciously few games this year where the starter has won, a guy or two has gotten a hold, and you've gotten it definitely for the save. And that is a winning pattern when you get into it. This is lifted to right center field. Gindel racing over. A nice play for Caleb. 2 outs in the inning. And this is what happens when a team starts to get loosened up. That ball may have dropped at other points this year. But Gindel got after it well, outran it. 2 gone in the inning.
That's the first play for Gindel tonight. The only other ball that went in his direction was the home run, and he didn't even move on it.
Francoso steps in. He's 0 for 2 on ground balls. 4 outs left to get for the Barnstormers. Below the knees to Francoso.
Yeah, and we've talked about it all year that, you know, you look at this lineup for Lancaster and thinking, man, this team has got that potential to score a lot of runs and get some wins together. It wasn't happening at the same time with the pitching. But boy, if it can turn the corner now, they can have a lot to say about what happens here in the second half.
2-0, you've got another left-hander on deck in Ramon Flores. Not there, and ball 3.
All right, let's go. Come on.
All right, take a deep breath.
Ready to go back to work is Marksbury. To Francoso, 3-0. Dealt right in the zone. You had to anticipate that Francoso would be taking there. He did. Now 3-1. A couple of relatively thin guys battling it out here. The pitch fouled away. Francoso with a good-looking swing. It's 3-2. Full count with 2 outs, nobody on. Somerset has had 4 base runners in the game. The Barnstormers have not necessarily had a ton of them either. 6 hits and 3 walks. But Lancaster clustered everything together in the 6th inning, and that's something that the Barnstormers have been missing. Payoff pitch is due. Marksberry to Francoso. He got him, a swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Marksberry in the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Lancaster leading by 3. Nate Rowe on for the bottom of the 8th inning. One guy we did not see last night. Rowe spent some time as a New Britain Bee as well as appearing with the Somerset Patriots. He's got Trdoslavich, Hood, and Hobson. Those 3 have played major roles in the Barnstormers offense tonight. Oh, we got to get Silo one of those "Don't Stop Believing" shirts. The Barnstormers have these T-shirts now. Russ gave me one last night. They were produced by Greg Troyer and Holly Shelton from our sign company. And the ball club's taking it to heart. Sure. Don't stop believing. And you know what? This game tonight, to me, is far more indicative of a team poised to go on a run than last night's game was. The Barnstormers lead 5-2 in a very mechanical fashion here, and they've done it against a guy who is maybe the hottest starting pitcher in the league coming in Dormany.
Agreed.
0-1 to Trdoslavich, who's 2 for 3.
And they couldn't do anything against him the first 3 innings. Made some noise in the 4th, but came up empty. But that leadoff home run by Hobson in the 5th inning.
And the walks in the 6th.
Yep.
1 strike to Trdoslavich. Destin Hood, who's had the biggest hit. Rowe to Trdoslavich. Right.
And when you have a team down 5-2, you would love nothing more than to add another run. Just
0-2. Hit well to Stormers. That ball goes anywhere else, and Will Kenger, who homered back in the 4th inning, is at the plate as the possible tying run.
Yeah, that seemed to be tailing away from him. Boy, Rodriguez really nailed it.
Kenger with the 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Otherwise, he's grounded out and struck out looking. 1 out with a runner on and a swing and a miss. Take another look at Michael Martinez and how he had to react to a line drive that began to hook. Good piece of base running, heads up base running by Ramon Flores too. You could have easily gotten doubled off there. The 0-1, Kenger takes that in the dirt. Good block by De La Rosa to keep the double play in order.
And tell you what, and that is what's so fun to watch about De La Rosa, I mentioned it before, just so fundamentally sound. Does the right things. And you're right, that ball gets, through him. That wipes out the double play. And it puts a runner in scoring position. All the things that you're trying to avoid here in this ninth inning. You want to see Epley just slam the door shut.
One out, one on, one ball, one strike. Tying run still on deck for Somerset. Epley ready to go with the 1-1. Peppers the outside corner for a second strike. High Point ended up losing tonight to Southern Maryland. New Britain appears to be on the way to taking 2 from Long Island. Somerset is trailing here. The Liberty division in the second half is becoming rather messy.
Oh.
Here's the 1-2. Kendra lets it go. Strike 3 call.
Good late movement on that pitch, and it just caught the outside part of the plate. And Kendra's saying, how can I hit that if it's out of the strike zone?
Buzz Albert showing some patience.
All right, move along.
Epley. Tough to tell. Did it get the knees? He does have high knees. We pointed that out.
Yeah.
Flores at first. Here's Ullman, 1 for 3.
Yeah, I just took a glance at the Liberty division. New Britain started the night at 3-7.
Line drive, base hit, left field. Paredes is going to come in as the tying run. Digging for third is Flores. The throw will be late. Epley backs it up in the infield. Ullman with a single to left. Flores able to make the turn and go to third. Jimmy Paredes will have a chance with 2 outs.
Yeah, there's parts of this Somerset lineup you don't want to be facing with runners on base, and Paredes is one of them.
This is probably the last guy you want to have stepping in right now as the tying run in this ballpark. Well, Epley will have to pitch Danely, but on deck is the thorny Espinal.
We're not asking for much.
Ross chomping a little more on those seeds here in the ninth inning.
To Paredes, inside and low. Again, the block made by De La Rosa. All it manages to do really is keep the force play going. One ball, no strikes. Paredes' run is the run that ultimately matters. Cody Epley going back to work on the Somerset DH. 1 for 3 in the ball game. A single back in the 7th. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Obviously, you want to try and avoid that inside part of the plate, so look for Epley to keep going down and away.
Or if you're going to go in, you've got to go way in.
Yeah.
Maybe a back foot breaking ball. Here's the 1-1. Paredes takes ball 2. Singles by Flores and Ullman. A wicked line out by Rodriguez. And a strikeout of Kenger getting us to this point. 2-1. Paredes swings, line drive into center field, and the tying run is on base. It's now 5-3 for Edwin Espinal. Four line drives off of Epley here in the 9th inning. 2 outs, tying runs are on. Espinal will come to the plate at 0 for 3. Pitch was up.
Well, Abaladejo had his number the first 3 times, including a line out to first.
Hit totals are even at 6 now. Epley will go to work on Espinal. Runners lead off first and second. The pitch is low for ball 1. Craig Massey, a lefty, waits on deck. Ross doesn't have anybody else throwing in the bullpen. When you have the job as a closer, you have the baseball until a lead would disappear entirely. And Barnstormers look for that not to happen, but it's ball 2 now on Espinal, 2-0.
Anxious times here for Epley.
Two balls, no strikes. Ullman at second, Paredes at first. They haven't gone to a pinch runner. Espinal looks at a strike. It's 2-1.
And that's the thing. You don't want to fall behind. You fall behind. Now the batter can dig in and, put the pitcher at his mercy. That had good movement. You saw Espinal kind of hop back.
Epley ready to go with the 2-1. The pitch, ground ball third, takes a bad hop. Terdoslavich wanted to go to third, realized he wasn't going to make it. He gets the out at first, and the Barnstormers hold on. A rocky top of the 9th inning, but Lancaster survives. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 left. The win to Albaladejo, the hold to Marksbury, the save to Epley. A winning formula, if you ask me. The Barnstormers, for the second time this year, have won 3 in a row. The ball club seems to be coming together.
4 sounds better.
We'll be back with you tomorrow night. The Barnstormers will be trying to sweep the Somerset Patriots. Buddy Bauman on the hill for Lancaster. He'll be trying to win his 2nd in a row. Now for all the cast and crew here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, the crew at Blue Ridge 11, and my partner Eric May, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you at the ballpark.